All right. As you guys are coming on, just be sure to hit mute to kind of control some of the background noise. Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm Melody Morrow, for those of you who don't know me. I'm somewhere in your upline and am just so blessed to be here with y'all this morning. Those of us who went to Florida are kind of still in recovery mode and processing because it was just a phenomenal weekend. We wish all of you could have been there with us and hope that you all will make it a priority to attend events because that is where heart connection happens. And that was certainly a big part of what my takeaway was this weekend, just really getting to be with people, connect with each other's hearts. And so we're going to go ahead and start with just sharing some of the announcements. Kristen and Travis announced that they are kind of going to break down our goals in 100-day increments. And so we just started a new adventure together that they have put us on, and they are rolling out some crazy stuff to allow us to use within our businesses, tools, incentives, one-on-one support. And so we're going to share with you what those announcements were. And then we're going to talk about what our tips were, our top takeaways, and you're going to hear from all the leaders that were able to go this weekend. They poured into us. We laughed, we cried, and it was amazing. So I'm excited to hear what everybody has to share. But I wanted to first start with the first announcement was that Kristen and Travis are about to venture out and do a Rockstar road trip. And they're going to be coming to a whole bunch of different cities. And my encouragement to you is to make it a priority to take as many people with you as you possibly can to these events. So I'm going to throw up the screen share here to show you where they're going first. Can you guys see that? So the first stop on their tour is going to be March 2nd, and they will be in Indy, then Atlanta, then Philly, Nashville, and then in California. They haven't actually announced those specific places they're going to be, but they're going to tour in several places in California. Then they're going to be back in Orlando on May 18th. And from there, they're going to have a day at Disney right after that, and then kick off a cruise, a big, huge team cruise, where the team will be going to Key West and Cuba. They have not released all of the details, but this is not exclusive to leadership, but they will let us know very soon how you can be a part of the cruise and what the qualifications are. So be sure to mark those on your calendar, rally with your team, and go if you possibly can. And then the other announcement on that image is also that they have announced that they are going to be doing some mini retreats. And we don't have the details of what all this, what it's going to take to qualify for this yet, but I have my eye on this for sure, because they are going to do one-on-one training at their Margaritaville resort house that they just bought. And basically it's going to be intense time where they are sitting down with you and walking with you step by step how to move your business forward and basically mentoring you. And there will be qualifications that you have to meet in order to achieve this exclusive retreat, but stay tuned for that. I am so pumped for that, and that is something you definitely will want to run after. It will be amazing. So those were the first two announcements. I'm going to turn it over to Kelsey, and she will complete the announcements.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, I'm really excited about those Meet Me in Margaritavilles, because I know there's been a lot of times that even though these kind of events, when I sit next to somebody else who's doing the same thing, I can learn so much. I can go, oh, like I can hear how they answer a customer, or I can hear what the verbiage they use is for this, or how they get to where they got to. is really, really impactful. So that's like the one that I'm probably the most excited for. I believe they're going to be very affordable. I just feel like I heard the price, and it's maybe the price of a sample pack, or maybe that's the home office ones. Anyways, we'll let you know as soon as we know details on that. So I'm going to talk about the 3 other announcements that they made. They made 5 big announcements during the group. One is the perks, and you guys may have already seen this on Rockstars because they did announce a lot of this on the Rockstar page before retreat. But for the next 100 days, if you achieve any of these ranks, here are the perks that they are giving away, which I think is incredible. I've not ever seen an upline give any of these to their entire downline. Doesn't matter if you're 900 spots down from them. So if you hit 5K, you're going to get a list of apps that they find extremely helpful in their business, as well as a $50 gift card for the App Store. You're also going to get an I Slay to 5K bracelet. If you hit 10K in the next 100 days, they're going to give you a profile audit from JE, the social coach. So he would be able to go through your profile and say, hey, here's some things that we can change that are going to impact your business in a big way. You will also be able to be interviewed on Wednesdays in the group events by a 50K or above affiliate. And that also means that they're going to sit down with you and help refine your story, which is really helpful to be able to share your story and what this journey has meant to you. Do you guys know what a group of unicorns is called? Does anybody know? I had not heard this before. Rebecca's like, I know, I was there. It's apparently called a blessing. So there will be a group for 10K and above affiliates called The Blessing. And then there'll also be a monthly Zoom online training from Kristen and Travis for anybody who hits 10K. If you hit 25K in the next 100 days, they're going to give you their ring light setup that they use. If you hit 50K, they're going to video your story to share with people with a professional videographer. There's going to be a group with help. You're going to be able to interview those 10K affiliates. And it also means that John-Erik is an admin in your group, which means that you get exclusive. When John-Erik, because he is a part of Facebook, he helps Facebook code, he helps them figure out what their standards are going to be, and that means that anybody who he's an admin for their group is going to get to try features that have not rolled out yet and get some extra perks that way. So I think all of our groups will be getting that very, very soon, which is pretty exciting. At 100K, you're going to get the ability to be a moderator on Rockstars Backstage. So the people that you add in or your team's people, you're going to be able to approve right away. And you're also going to get a Tiffany's bracelet. At 250K, you're going to get a personalized gift to your personality from Kristen and Travis. And it also means that your team can host their own retreat, and Kristen and Travis will be able to come and help you with that. At 500K, you get a 3-night stay in their Margaritaville house. They'll also take you to New York City and buy you a Louis Vuitton. I always say that wrong. Am I saying that right, ladies? Yes? All right. You can tell that I wear crossover purses from Target. I am not the girl who goes out and buys fancy purses, though I admire those of you who do. And then at Super Affiliate, you are going to get a Super AF Tiffany's bracelet that's custom to you and a trip with Kristen and Travis. So that is that announcement. Those are perks that you can even share when people are joining that your team, that they would qualify for. The next announcement Melody talked about a little bit is that they are doing the Cuba cruise at the end of the trip. And this is not going to be something that you have to qualify for. Anybody can go. They are going to start offering it, I think, first to the 50K affiliates, 25K, 10K, everybody. And you can go. Anybody should be able to go on the cruise if there is still room. They get special pricing because they have a big group, and they'll announce all of those details soon. It's to Key West and then to Cuba, and it's on the Norwegian cruise line. And then the last thing is, I know we've been working on, for those of you who are plugged into the chat bot, we've been working this month specifically on social media tips. John-Erik taught me a ton again this weekend about social media. Again, because he works with Facebook really is an expert on actually how to, a lot of things that I've been taught from other social media coaches about how to up your engagement, how to up the algorithms. He was like, that's not at all how it works. that's incorrect information. So knowing from somebody who's actually coded the algorithms is pretty important. So he already has some groups, Social Coach 2.0, then he has free groups you can purchase into. But all of those are very non-specific, because anybody from any company can join those. But he did have a contract now with Kristen and Travis, where he is starting a Rockstars social coaching group. It's exclusive to our team. He's never done this for another specific team in any company, where he's going to share all of those social media tips, but also have them pertaining to HempWorks. So that's pretty amazing. That means we're going to get verbiage, we're going to get ideas, we're going to get how the algorithms actually work. This group is going to be open. They're going to share more details on which to certain packages that you buy in with. So they'll share more of that information soon, but I think it's going to be a huge value to us. Anybody who joins, you in the next 100 days will get the first 3 months free. Anybody who is already a consultant, because it's going to be $9 a month is the cost of the group. But again, if they join anytime in the next 100 days, it will be free. And for all of us who have already joined, we are going to get the first month free, and then you can decide if you want to stay. I would highly recommend it because, again, he is the leader of social media. If you are running an online business, it's going to be a huge value to you. So those are all of our announcements. Now I'm excited to introduce some of our leaders who had the privilege to go on the retreat this weekend, and we can hear what they learned and what spoke to them. So do we have a list of who was going to start it off? Rachel is going to start it off. All right, Rach, take it away.
Hey everybody, I am Rachel Bufano, pretty new still. I just hit 10K last month, so I was able to sneak in by the skin of my teeth, and I am so glad that I did. So a little bit of my backstory is just that I have come from another company that I was with for 5.5 years, top rank, top leader, have been around for a long time, knew everybody in my company, would go to events, everyone knew who I was, people wanted to take pictures with me. And then I showed up this weekend, and I'll be honest with you, day one was really, really hard for me. I felt out of place. I felt like I didn't belong. I didn't know anyone besides the small group I was with from our team. Nobody knew me. No one asked to take a picture with me. No one, I went in there and it was extremely humbling. And honestly, it was exactly what I needed to just kind of like knock me back into reality and kind of like break those chains that I have been carrying for the last, 8 weeks or so that I've been with HempWorks. I want to assure you that if you're coming from another home, that this is going to be really hard. When it hits you, you realize how hard it is to try to get out of the mindset of like where you were to where you're going. And that's really what this weekend did for me, is just teach me that it's okay to start over. It's okay to not be okay with it and be sad about it and kind of go through a mourning, grieving process. But I promise you, when you get to the other side of that, it's amazing. This weekend, like Kelsey said earlier, like I learned more this weekend from this retreat than I have in 5.5 years with my previous company. The amount of generosity and knowledge and all of these things have like blown my mind. My biggest takeaway was just that it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to start over and create a new home for yourself. And we are in the best environment to do that with people who understand, because the same thing happened to Tristan and Kristen and Travis. I'm just going to call them #Tristan. I mean, I might as well, because I say it every time. Just because they have been where a lot of us have been, coming from a place that we thought we would be at forever. And then making this transition and not knowing anyone and facing all this adversity and all the haters and all the people who aren't supporting you because they feel like you betrayed them. And honestly, that's not what this is about. I think once you come out on the other side of that, you realize that there's so much more, and that home could be more than the place you thought it would be forever. So that was my biggest takeaway.
I love it. Thanks, Rach. Rebecca, were you going to go next? Are you ready to share? Awesome.
All right. Well, my name is Rebecca, and I also just hit 10K last month and snuck in on this retreat. Very, very happy that I was able to do that. It meant driving over 16 hours, and I am exhausted this morning, but it was well worth the time. I'm trying to pretend that I'm still in Florida, wearing some of my swag that they gave us, these amazing green sunglasses. So I also went not knowing absolutely anybody, and, walking through that, I relate to what Rachel shared. But there was kind of a theme for me through the entire weekend about people and how people are at the foundation of absolutely everything that we do here, whether it was, meeting new friends at the event, even when we were doing our fun outing, which was like this huge scavenger hunt, and we're running all around Disney, running into people and working as teams, kind of competing against each other. I feel like I've always been looking for a word to explain why I do not believe that balance exists. So whenever, you talk about being in business and being a mom and being a wife, people are always saying, well, they ask a lot, well, how do you balance it all? Well, you have to find balance. And I think that's something that we hear a lot of. And I've never really felt like that was a thing that we should be trying for, but I didn't have the magical word to explain how I feel about it. And this weekend, J.E. was explaining, and he used the word integration. And I was like, yes, that's it. Because for me, my life is like spaghetti. Everything all intertwines and interacts with each other. And the thing that is the foundation, the thing that holds it all together, is people. So just this weekend, for example, I was able to give some cash to a homeless man with Parkinson's disease on the side of the road on the way to Disney. He's a person, right? I was able to add value to him. And the fact that people is at the core of my heart, the core of what I do, means that I could bless him. I could add value to him. It also means that I don't have to be afraid, I don't have to be nervous to approach a multi-million-dollar business owner. Why? Because they're a person too. If we have that at the core, it brings balance, as it were, because we are literally going through life looking at every person we meet as an opportunity. And sometimes that's going to be a smile. Sometimes it's going to be, have you thought about trying CBD? Sometimes it's going to be, well, you could really make money doing this with me, But people are the core foundation. And I think sometimes we try to put our life into boxes. We have the mom box, and we have the wife box, and maybe we have the ministry box and the business box and homeschooling. I mean, you throw in all the things that any of you might be doing. And so our life fills up, and we say, well, we don't have room for any more boxes, which is true. But if we would empty all the boxes out onto one pile and give it a good stir, and just kind of, I know that sounds disorganized, but it's actually beautiful when we can learn to incorporate what we do and the amazing opportunity that we have to offer, the amazing products that are solutions to so many problems. If we could do that as we go to the grocery store, as we're going about our day-to-day lives, as we're talking with a friend on Facebook or on the phone, we would realize that this business is actually perfect for busy people, because busy people come in touch with lots of people all the time. So that's something that I just kind of loved through the whole weekend. And I would like to challenge each one of you to make your busyness work for you, instead of using your busyness as an excuse for not being able to run your business. So put your busyness to work. Find a way to, whatever the thread is for you, whatever grounds you, if it's people, if it's adding joy, you make up your own purpose statement, but then integrate it all together. And I think you'll find that will be a powerful catalyst for moving your business forward.
I love it. Thank you so much. Lydia is going to share next. Are you ready, Lydia?
I'm ready. So I'm Lydia. I also was a leader in another company. And so I've just come into HempWorks. I'm honestly nobody yet here. I have no rank yet. But Travis and Kristen were generous enough to allow me, through an incentive, to attend the leadership retreat, which just, it meant the world to me for them to pour into me before I've even done anything for them. I've not made them any money yet, but yet they still cared, to pour into me and to allow me to have this experience that has just, inspired me and given me, so much passion and let me let go of so many fears that I had, that, were not serving me. And that's kind of my big takeaway here, through the amazing speakers that we had, but also through the time we had just networking with the other leaders there. That can be just as valuable. And there was another leader who was in our room who's a life coach, and she was sharing about just letting go of things that might be good but not great in your life, that are they're really holding you back from going full force for greatness. And just, things that you might be holding on to that have some good, but, they're a distraction, physically, emotionally, and energetically. For instance, in the past, I've had a business for 10 years. I sold designer and vintage clothes online. And, it was something that I loved doing. It served me for that time. It was a great thing for me at that time. But, when I started to have kids, that wasn't a realistic business for me anymore. It took too much time. I couldn't no longer run around freely as I once did. And but yet I have tubs and tubs of thousands of dollars worth of things that, never got sold at that time, that I have been holding on to because, there's value to that. I want to get my money back. I don't want to give that up, like I could get money for those things. But it's, just really encouraged me to let go of all those little things that, could be something, but they're really distracting me, from, pursuing greatness, because physically and emotionally, like I'm not spending any time on those things. I'm not actively doing anything with that, but physically and emotionally, it's still in my life. And, it's kind of holding me down and back. And, emotionally, I have fears and baggage, from, past failures or things that have happened that, I've allowed to hold me back. And, make me fearful to really pursue greatness. And there were a couple of quotes from the weekend that, that really resonated with me about that. Because I was very fearful to actually launch, to put myself out there, to go live on my timeline, to really and truly put myself out there and share this with people. But, just some perspective. Leaders give others opportunities. Your responsibility begins and ends with offering someone the opportunity. You are not responsible for their success or their failure. If someone says no, who cares? Why are you taking that personally? They didn't say no to you, they said no to themselves. If they say yes, they're saying yes to themselves, not to you. This is definitely a paraphrase, but there's a lot of great people in history who failed many, 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 many times. All you see is their masterpiece, but they failed many times, whether it's art or business or whatever it may be. And they said, everyone has 10,000 bad drawings in them. Your job is to get them out of you as quickly as possible, because 10,001 is the masterpiece. So, let go of all those, those failures, those things that, like you've taken on as an identity. That's not your identity. J.E. is a brilliant man who has done many amazing, incredible things in his life. But he said that their think tank that he's, part of, that's done incredible things, a 20% success rate is considered an incredible success rate. That means 80% of what they did failed. But, that is a good thing, because they let that go and they move on to the next thing. And that thing is amazing. So what we want to do is we want to come alongside people and we want to help them win. This isn't even about us. This is about other people, helping them to win. And of course, when other people win, you win too. Your dream isn't about you. Your dream is about making the world a better place. And this was a hard one for me, but you're not shy, you're selfish when what you feel is stronger than changing someone else's life. So, that was kind of my takeaway, just stop letting things hold you back. The past is the past, and, the president is the president. Just about to get rid of a lot of things in my life, physically and emotionally, and, just really be ready to pursue my dreams, and, to help other people pursue their dreams, without, taking on the identity of, of past things that no longer serve.
I love it. Rachel wants you to talk about how you guys processed that as a family last night. Is that okay?
Well, we just, we had a long, conversation, John and I, of course, I flew back from Florida yesterday. So, I was pretty exhausted because, we had a lot of nights staying up and networking and processing and learning on the trip. And then, John is not a night owl. I am. But John is not. So that
she likes to have serious conversations after my eyes have closed.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most intimate time of the day with the least distractions, and so but we were just able to have just a really good several-hour conversation about things that are that might be good in our life, other streams of income or things that, it's hard to let things go when you feel like they still are, have some good in your life. And that's very hard for me. Like, John is a deleter. He likes to delete things from his life. He likes to delete emails and things like that.
She won't let me in the basement by myself to clean because she knows it'll all go away.
I mean, if you don't have any discrimination, then how can I trust you? But I don't even like to, I don't like to delete emails because, I can go back and search through them for something I might need. Like I definitely, have, a fear of losing things in my life. So it's hard for me to let go of things that still have some good in my life.
It'll take you forever.
But, it's only through, letting go of those things that, they may have some good, but they're holding me back from, pursuing what is really great, in the future. And, just talking about things that, this is our dream. This is what we want in our future. But, this is what we're doing. Like, this is not actually compatible with this. Like, we can't continue to do this thing and think we're ever going to get this because they're literally not compatible. And it can be really scary to give up things that have been a part of your life for a long time, that, have had a lot of value for you, that, have really given you a lot of fulfillment over the years. But to be able to let some things go in order to have better things. So it's very scary and exciting at the same time. So
I love it. Thank you guys for sharing. Melody, do you want to go next? Do you want me to go next? I know Emily is going to bring up the caboose.
Okay. I don't care. Do you want to go next or do you want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh my goodness, you guys, y'all had me crying. Lydia, Rebecca and Rachel, all of that is, it's just those bits of powerful pieces that we took away from us. It was very interesting when we were all talking to see what things really stood out, and everybody kind of took away something different that really spoke to their heart. And one of the things that was, I guess, the powerful piece to me was the fact that we all have dreams, but a lot of times we allow other people to have a voice in those dreams. And Jay really just focused in on the fact that we shouldn't actually. And I have fear of man. And a lot of the things that I do are dictated by what other people may think, or how they may feel, or what they perceive, and it stops me from taking action. And just a couple of weeks ago, I had one of my closest friends who had an opinion about network marketing, and it was hard to hear. And I could allow that to impact me and affect me from taking action. And I know that I'm not alone in that. But Jay took us through an exercise that just gave me tremendous perspective. And what he had us do is take a piece of paper that's 1 inch by 1 inch. And he said, one of the things that we do is we have this big dream, but we allow everybody else's opinions to squish that and let our dream die out because of the voices around us. But he said our dreams actually have to be coached and they have to be protected. And one of the ways that you do that is you identify who you allow to speak into your dream. And he said something that I was just like, whoa. He said, number one, you don't want to take advice from anybody that you don't want to switch places with in life. Okay, that tells me a little bit about who should be on that list. And then if they haven't actually accomplished a dream themselves, they shouldn't be on your list. Boom. I let a lot of people who don't believe in dreaming and who are afraid to dream speak into my dream. And we shouldn't do that because it kills our dreams. So he said, write the names of the people that should be on your list. And he said, he actually had us do that. And one of the things he said, okay, who's that person? And, a lot of times we think that we ourselves should be on that list. And he said, no, you don't belong on that list because you allow yourself to squish your dreams. And I was like, okay, wow, yeah, that's true. Obviously everybody's going to have different names that they put on that list, but it's a very small one. And as you move forward, move your business forward, move your dream forward, you should ask yourself, when the haters come out and the negativity comes out or the fear comes out as you're about to press post, whose opinion matters? And if they're not on that 1 by 1 square, then you move forward and you don't let the outside voices kill your dream. And the thing that made me cry is he said, you bring your children into your dream. And they should be a part of that. They should be one of the few people that are on that list. And I think a lot of times I don't bring my children alongside of me and I don't let them be a part of that dream. So that just spoke really powerfully to me. I hate crying in front of people, but that is what I wanted to share. If you have a dream, don't let all the negativity and the fear speak into it. Identify who should be speaking in your dream and keep that tunnel vision on. So that was my takeaway. Kelsey?
I love that so much. And I was trying not, you were going to make me cry. Guys, we were a puddle all week. I think our row cried maybe more than any other row, and there was no Kleenexes there. It was really unfortunate. So we looked, and if you see any of the pictures, half the time you can tell it was a powerful event. So I love that, Melody. It was extremely powerful for me too to make that list. And mine kind of goes along with that a little bit about kind of how we aren't the ones who should be on that list, right? Because we do let our own self-talk. For me, I can let my own self-talk squash my dream more than anybody else on the outside, because I'm with me all day long. You know, I'm the one who starts to let those doubts creep in. And so that can affect your day-to-day operation. I can wake up and go, you know, this person said this last night, or this person, you know, hated this about the business, or, you know, I just want to go turn on Netflix and I just want to protect myself, right? I don't want to work today because maybe it didn't work yesterday, or I didn't, you know, this person said no yesterday. And one of the really powerful things he said too, when he's your coach, he works with your dream, not with you. It's him in the dream and then you, and are you going to get on board with that? So one of the quotes that really hit me was, focus on your future and your dreams, and your feelings will catch up. If you are focusing on what that dream is, you know, and you just keep doing that day after day, showing up for your dream, for what that is, then your feelings will catch up, and you will be more committed. You will be all in. And if your dream, another thing that I've really heard, especially in, you know, in some of my previous business experience, was do more, try harder. And, you know, that can get into a really bad habit of do more, and you can end up sacrificing time that you don't need to sacrifice, time with your family, time with, and again, if your kids should be on that list. And if your dream is to have financial freedom or time freedom or any of that for your family, you're not going to sacrifice that time, because that goes with your dream, right? You're not going to lose that family time for the sake of your dream, because those are compatible. They go together. You're going to choose to sacrifice other things, right? You're going to maybe cancel your Netflix subscription for a little while, which I think the room gasped when he said that. You're going to stay up an hour later. You're going to get up an hour earlier. You're going to make those time choices. Sacrifice that. Don't sacrifice, you know, when your kids come home from school to when they go to bed, or the time that you homeschool your kids. Or there's ways to work this business and work for your dream without sacrificing things that are your dream. You don't need to do that. Please don't do that. It's a bad habit that I have gotten in the past, is sacrificing time with my family. I can't even look at Melody right now. So I love you. So yeah, today is today. And so don't be looking forward, or don't be looking behind. There's a lot of good there, and we can carry that with us. But don't get stuck in that, and don't get stuck in your today feelings. Get stuck in where you're going. Another really powerful quote was slow down to speed up. And it took me a little while to understand what that meant. Slow down to speed up. And he said, if your dream is important, you'll respect it enough to not do it at a stoplight. So if you have this huge dream, and now I am a big fan of fitting in what you can in chunks of your time. You know, you're going to do a power hour in this half an hour, and that can be more powerful than spending all day scrolling. But if you really respect your dream, if you really are saying, this is what I want, then you're not just going to go, that's overwhelming. Okay, I don't know, post. You need to respect that time and be able to commit to not letting everything overwhelm you, and to going, okay, I can do this today. Here's what I'm going to look at. Here's where I'm going to invest my time. Here's things that are going to further my dream. So those are things that were, all of this, I think I have 3 different notebooks with notes. So it was, I could go on and on, but I'm going to let Emily close us out with her takeaways from this weekend.
Guys, I'm Emily. I've been here just a short time. I started in January and hit 10K in January as well. And I've been to a lot of leadership retreats prior to being here with HempWorks. I was with another company for 5 years, and then I was with another company before that for an additional 5.5 years. And I've been exposed to a lot of leadership training. I've been around a lot of leaders. And what we experienced this weekend, I've been working really hard to not be emotional while you guys have been talking, so I wouldn't be set up to cry on this. What we experienced this weekend is something that I've never experienced before in a leadership environment. I have never sat under such wisdom and care, and people who looked out at us as we're sitting there and spoke to us and would customize what they were saying, customize what they were addressing based on what they knew that we were dealing with. And the refreshment of a message that was not do more, try harder. You're not doing enough. You're not working enough. You don't have success because you're not doing it right, or you're not doing enough of the right things, was so much life to my spirit. Because that's been a big part of my history. And that kind of environment is an environment that I think I subconsciously passed on. And having just the refreshment of one of the big takeaways that I had was that you have time, but you have a lack of priorities. You have time. The time there, it's a lack of priorities. And one of the things that he challenged us to do was to make a not to-do list. A not to-do list. He said, you are too obsessed with lists. Jay, you said, and he was speaking to my very soul and spirit, for I am a list maker. I make all of the lists and all of the schedules and all of the plans, and I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I want something to be really well done and really wrapped up perfectly before I press send or before I press post, and I get so in my head and so in my feelings. And one of the other things that Jay said was that you don't have the luxury of being in your feelings about all of this. You don't have the luxury of that. Your dream deserves your action. He also said that we talk about building confidence, and we talk about figuring out how to become more of who you are. And there's a lot of Pinterest quotes, and there's a lot of books you can read, and I do both of those things, and I'll always do both of those things. But what builds your confidence isn't reading more. It's doing hard things. What builds you as a person is taking action that makes a difference. And as you take small action, that small action builds, and it becomes bigger action. It becomes a bigger effect that you get to experience the fruit of. And that is where your growth happens. It isn't in sitting and talking about your business. It isn't in sitting on Messenger, answering every notification as it pops up all day, because you are chained to your dream instead of serving your dream. And there's a difference. There is a difference, because the action that produces is completely different. So we were challenged in a couple different areas. Number one was so good for me to hear, and maybe something you need to hear too, but you have permission to go after your dream unapologetically. You have permission, and I kind of taught about this a little bit last week, but it takes a lot of layers, I think, of hearing things and speaking to them and allowing them to come into the light and breathe in the light of day. But you have permission to go after your dream, to name it, and to be unapologetic and unashamed about what you want to do with this business. And the piece about your family and prioritizing your time with your family and not believing all of the rigmarole that we're told that you give up time with them now in order to have more time with them later, was really earth-shaking to me and resonated with my heart so much, because my heart is to be with my kids. I don't homeschool, my kids are in school, but I want that 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. uninterrupted time with them where I am not answering Messenger. I'm sorry. I'm answering. I'm not posting. I'm not doing anything unless it is a plan that we have made that is an event or some income producing activity for the business. I am with my family because that's the time that I have with them. That was really, really, really refreshing to me. So I would just challenge all of you. One of the things that we did in this not to do list was listed off the things, and I've started mine. I haven't sat down to fully dig into all of it, but making a not to do list. One thing that is not good to do, that I'm not going to do anymore, is get on Messenger before I'm ready to be on Messenger and working. It's not work time. I'm not going to try to be getting the kids ready for school and popping in popcorn to answer questions and direct people to different things, because it doesn't serve them well. It doesn't serve my team well for me to have 10 seconds to answer a question rather than a full, thoughtful response. And it doesn't serve my family well, because what they say is that I'm on the phone instead of being with them. Not scrolling, and I'm not going to not honor my time priorities. So we were given a challenge to take the next 100 days and really focus on, strategically in the marketplace. This is 100 days of opportunity to build business that in our industry is the best time to build your business. It is all of the different ways that the calendar goes and school schedules and all of those things. This is the time to build your business. And we have the opportunity to take 100 days of really insane focus, really strong, intentional priority management and time management to serve our dream and to carry our dream into the next season and into the next area of growth. And I can sit on the sidelines and I can write lists and I can prioritize, and then I can just not do the actions that create growth. So I'm making some commitments to my family as far as my time goes. I'm making some commitments to myself in terms of ensuring that, how many mamas here, one of the first thing that goes when you get busy or you get working on a lot of things, you stop eating well and you kind of like grab what the kids leave on the plate and eat peanut butter and jelly and Cheez-Its for lunch. I don't function well that way. And it's been a continued battle my whole adulthood. Is I'm a little bit of a workaholic and I get too focused and I don't do the things that take care of me and allow me the strength and the mental capacity to serve my dream well, and in doing so serve my family well. So it was refreshing, guys. I just have to tell you, get to events with these people. I've spoken that strongly in businesses, but I'm saying that with more conviction and more strength than I've ever felt before, because there is something that shifts in you, not only getting around this culture and this fun group of people and getting to connect with them and hear their stories, which are all so good and so powerful. You need to experience the leadership, especially those of you who've been in leadership with companies before. You need to get your butt to an event and you need to do it post-haste. The next thing, figure it out, make the time. You need to be there. You need to be ministered to in the way that we were ministered to. I've never felt such a heart of compassion and love and practical wisdom in helping us build and work through everything that we were working through. So I would just encourage all of you. It was incredible. I really do have probably half my notebook filled up with snippets and all sorts of things that are amazing. But the plans have been put in place. You heard Cass and Melody talk about the things that they're setting in place for Kristen and Travis and for JE to come in and teach social media and teach practicalities. We want to do things that we want to be copied. Whatever we do, we want it to be something that our teams can come through and copy from us and learn from us. And we're going to be getting more and more training on how to do that. But it's time to dig in. It's time to serve your dream. It's time to decide and draw that line in the sand and step over it to the other side. That's what I'm doing. And this weekend was really transformative. So thanks for letting me share.
Thank you, Emily, and thank you everybody for showing up. I know it's the middle of the day and a ton of you popped on, so thank you for taking that time aside. And I'm really excited to see what comes in this next 100 days. I know it can be extremely, extremely powerful for each and every one of you and your dreams and your families and all of that. So let's go. I think those perks that I talked about, each and every one of you have the opportunity to start earning those if we can be intentional during this season. All right, we will have the replay up of this sometime today. So if you have a friend, a sideline, a downline, an upline who needs to hear it, watch for that and make sure that they get tagged when we post it. And we will see you guys soon. Thanks so much.